What up, what up? This is Ace OG, back into the topic, back into the video. So the title of this video is going to be, women are divorcing their husbands because they're supporting Donald Trump. So I may change the title a little bit so it can actually fit into the thumbnail, but that's going to be the logistics of the video. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribers to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing the video out, give you leverage to better yourselves. So let's get into it. So, women are divorcing their husbands because they are supporting Donald Trump. So I saw a video a couple of days ago where this woman was discussing this particular issue, and I saw a couple of reels that different women were saying the same thing. And what the women were saying was, they said that if your husband's political views does not align with yours, then you should divorce them immediately. If they don't support Kamala Harris for whatever reason, whether they don't support her because she's a woman, because she's black, because she's Democrat, whatever the case may be, you should divorce your husband. And I really think that this concept is so crazy and so dangerous. It's absolutely insane. It really is. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that women shouldn't have their own opinion or their own views as far as politics. I'm not saying it at all. Now, there will be a lot of men that watch this video, and just men in general, that believe that, you know, their wife, right, not talking about girlfriend, their wife should align with their views as far as like religion, as far as politics, even football. You know, that I've seen plenty of men that you know, they get married and their wife automatically becomes a fan of their football team because he is a fan of their team. And I've seen houses that divided because, you know, the woman supports the football team and the husband supports another one. That's all in fun, right? But when it comes to you really basing your marital vows based off of political views, it's absolutely crazy. It just is. I mean, as people get older and they mature and they live life more and they have more life experiences, political views can go back and forth. They really can. And, you know, this concept of women divorcing their husbands because they want to support somebody because they align with their political views versus they have different ones, I'm not exactly sure how to even address that, because you're out of order. You're completely out of order. Now, you know, when it comes to both candidates have they have good views, they have bad views. You know, I'm not going to necessarily say my overall political view, because at the end of the day, I can almost, to a certain degree, kind of like put myself as independent more than aligning with Republican or Democrat, because I think both parties have issues. I think both parties have good parts, and I think both parties have bad parts. What I will say is that, you know, my stance on politics, it definitely does sway more to Republican. But for me to say that I'm a diehard Republican, I would never say that as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Because it does not make sense, because there are a lot of things that I see on the Republican Party that I do not like and don't appreciate. But when it comes to the Democratic Party, yeah, I just don't rock with that, right? And, you know, I'm married. What I will say is that, you know, not to get into like, you know, me and my wife's political views, but what I will say is that for the most part, me and my wife, even though we have differences, our political views they're pretty much the same to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say they're extremely different. But for me to say that I think that my wife would leave me because I support Donald Trump, or let's say that she was a Trump supporter and I was a Kamala Harris supporter, and she would leave me because I support Kamala, I mean, that wouldn't even be a discussion. It really wouldn't. What I will say is that if our religious and our spiritual backgrounds were different, I think that would be kind of an issue. Even though I have seen couples that one was Muslim and one was Christian, and for whatever reason they was able to work those things out. But those concepts are a little bit different to swallow. Pause. As far as like being with somebody that aligns with a different spiritual view, a religious view. That's a little bit different. But then again, you got a lot of folks that treat politics like religion. So, you know, they look at it like, you know, if you don't align with a certain political party, then you are destructive. You're not a person that has the best interest of the family, of America as a whole. A lot of people will say that. But as far as the topic is concerned, women. Like I said, I don't even know how to even address this like totally, because it's out of order, y'all. It's totally out of order. I mean, like, your vows, and as far as like what you signed up for, as far as like being with your husband, should not end because he aligns with a different political party as you. It does not make sense. Now, some of the women that I saw express their opinion and their views for like why they should divorce their husband because they support Donald Trump. Excuse me, y'all. I know the camera is shaking a little bit and everything. Well, I have a shoulder injury from when I was in war. So at a certain period of time, my arm is going to shake a little bit, whatever. I'm in one place. My apologies. I need to get a tripod. I really do. So I'm going to try to keep it from shaking as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, just your vows goes way beyond a political view. It goes way beyond a political view. Like that shouldn't be even an issue. What y'all need to do is sit down and actually hash out what he believes, what you believe, and then come to a mutual understanding. That's what should happen. It shouldn't be just black and white, like, oh, you support Donald Trump, so because of his extreme views. Some folks think it's extreme. Some folks don't think it's extreme. But I'm pretty sure that these women that are advocating divorcing their husband believe that his political views are so extreme that they should just run. They should just leave, just automatically, without even having a conversation, right? And that's just out of pocket. It's out of order. And I don't think, it's just my personal opinion, I don't think that God is going to honor that. You know, I believe, this is my personal belief, I believe that the Bible kind of like hashes out to a certain degree, like what could constitute a divorce. And I don't think having a political view is going to be one of them. I really don't believe that. I really believe that women that really are diehard Kamala Harris fans and their husband is not, y'all just really need to have the conversation. Y'all really do. What that's really telling me is that the situations where these things are a problem, that just sounds like just horrible communication between the husband and the wife. It really does. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, one of the number one reason why people get divorced is miscommunication, not communicating. It's not infidelity, it's not money. And because when you take those two aspects and when you roll those up into one, that's communication. That's really is. Not being on the same page, not communicating, not addressing your views and actually hashing out as a couple supposed to, and getting up and finding a mutual ground. Because, you know, some of these husbands that support Donald Trump now, they might not have been a Trump supporter when they first got married to their wife. But like I said, you live long enough, and you know, and you start to mature, and you start to, you know, see political views from a different lens. You may sway to a different party, right? And in reversal, there might be some couples out there that the wife supports Donald Trump, but the husband supports Kamala Harris, and that might be an issue. But to say that, you know, that you should literally like give your husband divorce papers because he supports Donald Trump, it is so out of pocket. So out of pocket. God's not going to honor that, y'all. He really isn't. You know what I'm saying? That is not a reason for divorce. It just isn't. It's not a reason for divorce, y'all. It just isn't. Y'all need to sit down and hash that thing out. So women that are watching this video that kind of like aligns with that kind of thinking, and they seen videos like this where the woman said that they should divorce their husband, really think hard about that. Really think twice about that. I mean, seriously, have some communication with your husband. Talk about it. You know, take a dinner date, or go out somewhere and sit down and just hash things out. And both of y'all may have very strong views about both political parties, but at the end of the day, y'all married each other because y'all love each other. So the love you have for each other should overcome the political view. It really should. You know what I'm saying? You might be upset, you might be mad for to a certain degree, but I mean, it's all about communication and mutual respect for each other. Because I respect my wife. I respect everything that she believes in. I respect all her ventures that she has in life. I just do. I have no choice because she's my wife. I respect her. That's just bottom line, And and the way my wife is, she wouldn't still be with me if she did not respect me. We've had our disagreements in life. We definitely have, just like all couples do. But the respect level that we have for each other is enough to where we're able to sit down, have the conversation, and be able to come to a mutual agreement, right? Because at the end of the day, we honor our vows, and we took our vows very seriously. We really did. Now, of course, as we were younger, I got married when I was 26. My wife was 25. So, we weren't like we were young, but we weren't like extremely young, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, there still was a maturity that needed to be done through our marriage. So we have matured in our marriage. And after 20 years, we're locked in, right? And this politics stuff, it blows away. Like the social media aspect, when it comes to social media pushing out these agendas and, talking about Donald Trump bad or talking about him good, and vice versa with Kamala Harris. At the end of the day, is this really something that's going to, it shouldn't affect your family like that? I mean, should it? I mean, yes, there are some policies on both parties that can affect your family. It can. But Donald Trump is not in your marriage, and Kamala Harris is not in your marriage. You two are in your marriage, and a political view, whether it be Democrat or Republican, should not come in between your marriage. It shouldn't. The marriage vows that are said, well, not the marriage vows, but when a Christian pastor, when he marries folks, or she marries folks, right? I believe there's a statement in there where it says, "Let no man pull us under." Don't quote me on it, but that's the logistics of it, right? So what that basically is saying is that you shouldn't have nobody or nothing come between y'all between that marriage, because God's supposed to be the center, right? So if God's the center, and you're going to divorce your husband based off of a political view and a person that's in politics, what you're doing is you're removing God, right, from between your marriage, and you're putting a view in between your marriage, and the view is going to break your marriage up. And it's not a good look. It really isn't. So yeah, so women are divorcing their husbands because they support Donald Trump. It's crazy. It's ridiculous in my opinion. And just have the conversation with your husband, y'all. Like, have the conversation and just come to a mutual agreement, because at the end of the day, you putting that political view in between your marriage is taking God outside, is pulling God from between y'all. And God should be the center, always, all right? So you want me to discuss a topic or a subject you think is beneficial to the channel, email me at findingfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. Say so, G, signing out. I'm gone.